Behind the southern charm lies razor-blade smiles and hearts of darkness.
Monsters we are.
You know the rest of that sentiment and the reasoning behind it.
The truest lie ever sung.
It is not in seeking monstrousness that we stave off the monsters of our hearts and thoughts.
We are monsters dead, and truly so.
Yet our monstrousness is solely in seeking to live.
Seeking to be that most human of animals.
Monsters we are.
Monsters we are.
The better to embrace the truth of our dead humanity.
The Coast After Dark is a mature-themed Discord play by Post Server based in and exploring the V5 world of darkness in and around the Mississippi Gulf Coast region.
It has a small local population with over 14 million tourists that visit annually.
Roughly an hour's time is all that is needed to travel from end to end.
The geography and size of the region has created a unique power structure that is formally known as the Council of Twilight.
It is sometimes called the Pentarchy.
Sometimes affectionate.
Sometimes oozing with disdain.
Come explore and safely experience the darker parts of the sun-kissed landscape
And your imaginations.
This is the Coast After Dark. Magnolias moldering in the midnight. This is our first of two-shot Hunter Chronicle, and I'm your host, your storyteller, and your number one fan, Nobody. Thank you for your time, and we're just waiting for the other players to arrive, and we'll begin with a small session 0 leading directly into our episode. Thank you so very much. Hello. How we doing?
Hello. I'm good. How are you doing?
Not bad. So, while we wait for everyone else to arrive, just for the record, this is Nobody, the primary storyteller here on the coast. And have you worked out all the details for your particular hunter?
Not really. I think I have a general background. I don't know what the advantages or the edges or perks meant on my sheet, but I mean, is this what we're trying to figure out during session 0?
Yeah, we're gonna do a fairly Cliff Spark note session 0 and roll into a little bit of play, and we're going to have the follow-up. Hopefully we move through it with some alacrity, and then we'll continue next week and close out our little hunter section, filling in some of the corners of the coast, as it were.
All right.
Do you have
oh, sorry.
No, go on. Do you have any questions?
Feel free to call me Annie.
For animated existence?
Yes.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Nobody, storyteller, all of those work. Did you give your hunter a name?
Yes. I actually just gave him a name.
Okay. And what's their name?
Levi Neilhard Kaufman. Very German name. Just randomly generalized. Should I type in some more?
Okay. No. Levi Neilhard.
Kaufman. Like Koufmann.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. And what edges and perks do you have? We can talk about that for a few moments while everybody else isn't here.
Okay. So, it says edge artifact.
Okay. That is an item of some sort. It doesn't have to be anything grandiose. It's not like the Maltese Falcon or anything, but it is an item that has abilities or perks or an edge to it. So your artifact, does it have any edge attached to it or perk attached to it?
Well, that's the first thing on that line, but on the second section, there's like edge, global access, perk, shield. But I don't think those two are connected.
Okay, let's see. What's your creed? Let me do it that way. Hey, how we doing?
Testing.
Hello.
1212.
Welcome in. How we doing?
I can hear you.
Let's try that again. I don't think I heard it. There we go. I'm hearing people now.
All right then. Welcome in.
Thank Thank you.
All right. And Annie, what was your creed and drive?
So it's the oh my gosh, I cannot pronounce this word. Entrepreneur, but like for the ADJ.
Okay.
Yep. Drive is envy.
Okay. Entrepreneurial envy. Give me a quick second. Let me go ahead and open that up. Look, because I do have the base unfiltered copy here, and your edge is an artifact that is a relic of some sort, whether it's something that was passed down, something that the character found. It is a potentially potent factor. And in regards to, I've lost one of my windows. There we go. All right, and then global access with the shield is...
1 sec, I forgot to get some water.
Water is good. Water is good. Now, with your global access, typically that means that you are able to plug into or hack into various systems. Either illegally without anyone else's notice, or you actually have some access to it through the character's background, whatever they did for a living, whatever they did for a hobby. Any one of those facets allows them to gain access to global surveillance systems, for lack of a better word. Whether it's actually a surveillance system, or maybe it's just the banking, financial aspects, or any system, any one of the systems that actually are, well, exactly what it says, global. So whether it's the intelligence community, whether it's the dark web, whether it is any number of those systems that have international reach, your character is able to access it. And then you have shield, which, well, I hate for it to sound like self-explanatory, but yeah, it is what it is. It is a matter of protection that the character is able to gain access to. So, what's the best way to describe it simply? It's typically connected with an artifact, but it could be through your connection with that international system. It could be the fact that you may be relatively invisible to others, or supernatural creatures. Now, while it's specifically listed as part of the artifact perk, how it takes shape is part of one of the things that you figure out for the character. And I'm going to need a bigger notepad.
I have a blank document open up on my browser for copious note taking, as this is my first hunter thing ever.
Nice.
Yeah, I am positive I will have things I need to write down or type in.
Okay. Being prepared is always a very, very good thing.
I mean, are we starting now, or can I ask more questions?
Oh no, definitely ask more questions. The more questions and the clearer the character is in your head, the better it will be.
What about the advantages and the flaws of this character?
Okay. Which advantages do you have, or
like there are 4. Adversary, round touched mage.
Okay. The note for that is, it is a world of darkness, but there's also a world of very wan light. Some of that light is trains further down the track heading in your direction, and in this character's particular instance, that is exactly what an adversary is. It is a powerful individual. Whether they're actually a mage, they can make magic happen, they can make strange things happen, or maybe they're just a financial wizard or a highly skilled operator out there in the night. They have incidentally, over the course of their life, pissed this person off where they are worth the effort. This person, this wrong touched mage, has made it worth their while to make sure that this character, that your character has the worst time possible. So Levi has crossed the wrong person who has time and makes time to make sure that their life is as eventfully painful as possible.
Okay. Well, and there's resources to, status to, is probably like really similar to V5, right?
Yes, it very much is. Resources is their easy access to cash. Now for hunters, it's a little different than for kindred, solely because there are daily costs to living. Especially in America, there are costs for everything from gas to cigarettes to coffee to tea to even turning on the light. It is literally a ticker of money going out of your accounts to fund those things. So resources in Hunter account for those things, and this is roughly the funding you have left after all of those things that are constantly running out. So it's not a real measure of numerically how much the character has, but how much they actually just have access to.
So it's discretionary.
Yes. And then status means that within this gray world of hunters, even as we're starting at the outset of the mission, as it were, even if we're starting at the outset of them taking those initial steps into this world, this wider, darker world, seeing the truth behind things, they have a reputation within the community, these fringe zealots and mad persons who they've somehow impressed with their knowledge. They don't even know what they've been providing to these people or how they've been associating with people, but they have a good standing, they have a good name already for themselves.
Okay. Is it okay if I ask some questions too?
Of course.
All right. So, well, I was actually asking any, but okay, thank you. I was looking at the character sheet you gave me, and I sent you back something with some things scribbled on it that made sense, but with what there's this 2-dot advantage and flaw that's blank, and I don't even know what it's for.
Okay.
So
what was your type? What was your creed and drive?
So, my type, Elijah Abramson is a faithful oath, and actually I'm guessing my oath is to do whatever I can to make sure other people don't succumb to this Gnostic horror machine that took my friend. I didn't even give my friend Jakob, my friend Jakob. But so like there's a bunch of 1-dot things, and there's a random 2-dot thing that I don't know what to do with. It's just sitting there.
Looking at the initial blank download, it should be that you have a 2-dot listed there as mentor, the rabbi's son, a fellow judge. You have
okay, so there's a mentor here. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay, so that I thought I saw mentor mentioned somewhere else, and I don't know why I don't see it here. But okay. Is that also a touchstone, or is that just something else entirely?
It is entirely something else entirely. It is a mentor. Your fellow rabbi's son is aware or loosely aware or questioning the reality of the world that you all are inhabiting, and they've gone further down that path into being a hunter, into exploring these dark facets of the world. So they're able to let you know some of the landmines that are out there in the night, some of the things that you probably shouldn't do, even if it's most beneficial to you. It's like, no, you really don't want to go into D'Iberville after midnight. I know what it sounds like. I know it's just another neighborhood, and it's one of the oldest, but however, you don't want to go out there after midnight. This is a very bad idea. Elijah, trust me on this. You do not want to go. Or such.
Iberville is dangerous after midnight. God.
Just as an example, they would be able to tell you where some of the pitfalls and landmines that are out there in the dark are. They'd be able to say, I may not be able to answer this personally, but there is X, Y, Z, or what have you, where you can look it up and figure it out. Maybe you can do more than I could with this.
Okay. Alrighty. This Edge library, is the library my artifact, or do I pick a particular book?
No, library is access to apocryphal knowledge. There's books, scrolls, websites, dark tour visited areas of the internet where you have access to potential research, factual information that may require a little code breaking and puzzling, but you have access to it.
Okay, so it's a welcome to worldofdarkness.net type of deal. Okay.
It could be. You get to decide on how it takes shape, which is it is access to information that could be of extraordinary assistance.
Okay. Okay, I do have technology 1, so I'm not clueless with the internet, which is good. But judges and rabbis tend to be more hands-on booksy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna just flesh it out as one laptop term, one like laptop that knows a small corner of the dark web that's useful, plus stuff relating to the occult specialty you gave me. Sound about right?
That's absolutely perfect.
One laptop with... Man, I don't know why it doesn't let me type into this PDF. Okay.
Depends on where you open it. Like, it works fairly well in Bing. It works decently in Chrome. It works better in Firefox, but it works absolutely perfect if you open it in Acrobat directly.
Yeah, but then Acrobat doesn't let me edit it. Or if I make edits and try to save them, I've frozen the document. Which is, I think, what happened. I think I saved my changes, and then it, got frozen. I couldn't change it again. Without writing on it, literally with a hand pencil. So I'm using a mouse pencil, but still annoying. But okay, one laptop with dark web access, small corner. Okay, so it's just taking me a while because I don't write the fastest with a pencil and paper, and I spent less time practicing with mouse.
No, it's fine. You got time. And while you suss that out and work that out, and each evolved, this is Noble. She's one of our founders of the Coast After Dark, and sitting in, taking a look around. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Hello.
Right.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome. And
Ever hiding and never present.
but you've been working on the tail end of a degree, I've been told. So
Yes.
this is only
finishing my
reasonable.
master's degree.
Oh, lucky you. Wish I could say I managed to get that far.
I mean, don't be too impressed. I'm in my mid-40s and went back for this, so...
Oh! You mean I could catch up to you still? Okay. Because I'm in my early 40s.
There's no such thing as early anything once you hit 26.
Not even early morning, huh?
Not at all. Annie, as far as Levi, do you have any other questions?
Okay, what about the retainer co-partner advantage?
That's a very good advantage. All advantages are very good, but in this particular case, as a retainer, they work for you in some shape, fashion, or form. You are paying them for their assistance in whatever currency works for you too. For Levi and them. It also means that they are able and competent enough to actually assist you in various facets of your day-to-day, night-to-night existence. You've got your very own Green Hornet to your Cato, or your Sherlock Holmes to your Watson. You have someone who is able to go get it, go smash, go drive, go help me please. You are never alone. They will need a name, but that is entirely for you to work out as we play, or if something comes into your head as far as who they are, describing them and how they operate.
I'm thinking about like a butler or something.
Yes, very much that.
Yes, a butler is one of the original one of those. Batman. But okay. But enough about Alfred. Curious as to what this perk and edge mean. I have a sense of them, but I don't know what they mean exactly. This perk of precision means what?
You mean besides being precise?
I presume that mechanically it's a little bit more tailored than just I'm always precise, because that would actually possibly be broken.
No broken anything. Let's see if we can simplify it to something a little more.
Like, is this weapons precision? Is this?
It is one of the perks to your edge. If you look there for sense the unnatural, that's what it's referring back to. It gives the character the ability to exactly determine in a room full of people if something is non-natural. You're not able to determine the exact type, but you get that the hairs on the back of your neck are standing on end, your breath is coming out colder and leaves a fog in the air, or however you decide to describe that sensation. When using your Sensing Unnatural perk, that means that based on your successes, you will be able to immediately not just get a range 5 to 10 feet. You won't just feel warmer, colder, hot, scalding hot you right on top of it. You'll be able to say, that girl there with the lime green hair, there's something not natural about her. Every time I look at her, my eye twitches, or every time I look at her, my stomach bubbles and I feel butterflies, or however you choose to describe it, but with your perk.
I'm going to say joints ache. Joints ache extra. Okay. Just to consider something unnatural. Okay, just like if it hits, right? Like, because obviously these things have missed chances, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm typing just because I'm just sick and tired of trying to handwrite with a mouse. Like, it ain't working for me.
Typing is fine.
Keeping the sheet up and like now trying to figure out how I can zoom it down.
Seems as if our good friend Jimmy may be down for the count, because it is 11 a.m. his time, so he may be down for the count. And I know that Ernie's player is having a house guest.
Okay, that can happen.
It does. And while we play them off, this is a good time for Levi and Elijah to sketch out in broad strokes how they know of each other. Now, that doesn't mean that they're close personal friends, doesn't mean that they're drinking buddies or play poker or whatever else. They may not, know each other's children's name or cousins or families going back several generations, but they do know of each other enough to share information, to have conversations with, to travel in similar circles with. How close that connection is entirely up to you two.
Alrighty. I didn't even pick a hometown for my dude.
Well, we're going to be in and around Bay St. Louis, so.
Okay, so alright. I guess that's as good a hometown choice as any. Are we both Jewish?
I mean, if you want it that way, sure.
No, well, I
don't know how
am.
to,
So
like,
my character is. So that's why I'm asking.
Okay, I don't know much about Jewish culture, so I don't think I will roleplay it well. So it will be like
Okay.
an inaccurate representation.
Trust me, I will make plenty of screw-ups in that regard myself. But it just didn't make sense for me to have a specialty in Talmud.
But it does. Everyone has their own little trivial rabbit holes they'll go down. So the world is your oyster. Don't be bound by any semblance of what is right or what have you, because everything is an option.
Okay, well, I could also swing for runs in evangelical Christian circles, and just has a abnormal emphasis on the Old Testament in his worldview.
So you were suggesting like church body?
That's a possibility. I am running a faithful Creed character, so religious backdrop is going to matter for sure.
Is your character into maybe history?
If you're talking about is Israel's history abnormally obsessed? Yes.
Okay. I'm thinking about playing like an archaeologist.
That's a great one. So in terms of with this specialty on Bahari occult, this actually leaves a great window for possible academic intersection, because a lot of Gnostic literature comes out of Greece and the Hellenic world during the time where Greek culture had a large degree of influence. So there's secular Gnosticism, and then there's its intersection with paganism that intersection with paganism is more my character's interest, but nonetheless, if you do anything that is around any culture that has been touched by Hellenic Gnosticism, that is a potential intersection point where if you did archaeology around anywhere from modern day, anywhere from modern day Italy to Greece to Turkey, and even a little bit beyond that, is all like fair game, in addition to if you just happen to be doing archaeological stuff around the Middle East itself.
Okay, I think the problem is that, like, myself, I don't know much about that, and
Fair.
I choose to be like an archaeologist just because, like, I feel like that is like a good fit, since this dude has a lot of intelligent academic and but no medicine or any sort of biology, that kind of stuff, and no science. So I don't know. I mean, he could just be like a professor somewhere.
Professor's good.
Yeah.
My character's not the sharpest dude, but he travels in circles that love to be well read. So this is fine. Professor's really good. You could even be a professor of, like, philosophy.
Okay.
It would work.
So, Annie, your idea is that they are an academic of some particular pursuit, like they're a professor, an educator, a consultant, or something along those lines?
Yeah, and I'm trying to take into account why this dude has like 4 points in finance. I don't know how to explain that.
Oh, that's easy. Just as an example, and the reason why I say that's easy is because entrepreneurial is a creed that is around the idea of capitalizing on the already existing darkness that's out there in the world, using it to create more wealth to help beat the monsters back into the dark or eradicate them completely and totally. Finding a way, for instance, have you seen Daybreakers? It's a fairly old vampire movie, but they initially used the occult idea of vampires scientifically. They used it and they infected people, through everyone in the world basically, and everyone became a vampire because it prolonged their life. It helped them live past cancer. It helped them live past all of the frailties of mortality. And just like what we're doing with our environment, they ruined it. They pretty much ushered in a new dark age. People were going too far into becoming vampires. They became vampiric monsters and use it in that way. Or not Ian Flux, but right around that same time, and Mila Jovovich did a movie where she was a vampire along the lines of Ian Flux, Matrix, and all of that. Tight leather, fairly color scope to be really jarring, but one of the things they did was they used the vampire virus to, again, better themselves, but they used it scientifically because it happened in a lab. Someone got infected, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of like an entrepreneurial, the creed. They're using the darkness if they can, but otherwise using it to create money to do that. So their focus on finances is gathering and increasing wealth towards their own ends.
Okay.
You're really awesome at gathering grant money for your causes.
Oh God. I was more thinking about like dealing in like artifact, like selling that kind of stuff.
Yep, that definitely works as well. How Levi goes about utilizing their finance skill is 100% in your hands. And take a second to really live in their skin for a couple of seconds and figure out how they go about doing it. Like that selling, dealing in antiquities beneath maybe slightly extra legally is a great way to gather finances, and being able to manipulate the financial markets that they are involved in to get more money for themselves. It's absolutely perfect. Welcome, Ernie. I know you're muted, but do you have a hot second to introduce your character so that we can map out some of how these three are intertwined? Now, they know each other. They may not be very close. They could be very close, but that's entirely up to you all to map up how you all know each other. And what is your character's name?
No problem. I was only muted because you guys were talking, and I was trying to catch my breath after the whirlwind of cleaning my house at the last minute. She did get here safe. She is settled in, so that was why I'm running a little behind.
Very
but
cool.
Anyway, I am playing Chiasoka Patrice Bechel. Goes by Chia most of.
She is like the pet.
It's short for Chiasoka.
Yeah, Chiasoka. Or Soka. You can call her Soka or Chia. Patrice Bechel. She is by day a data analyst, and by night kind of dark web visitor. She is very smart in computers and anthropology. She went to college for anthropology, but doing side jobs kind of drew her down a little bit of a rabbit hole. Yeah, so she's
as far as a potential point of contact, I could have met you in the dark web, and later met you in real life. So
that's very much a possibility. Yeah.
Okay, so
give a quick description. She is 5'2", 165 pounds, very curvy. I would say hourglass with extra sand on top and bottom. Milk chocolate skin, light brown eyes, very full in the mouth, Nigerian nose. Hair done usually in braids of different styles. She dresses comfortable but chic with plenty of accessories, often tied to her dual culture. Couple little tattoos in inconspicuous places. The most conspicuous would be the one that's on her wrist. It's a simple black arrow. Yeah, she's quiet but charismatic. So yeah, that's pretty much Chia.
Wow. I didn't think about any of that junk with my character. Now I have to think about it. Thanks for the reminder. Oh boy.
And while we've dived a little bit further in, allow me to do some of the introductions. Chaval, Ernie Chaval, Ernie, Annie, animated existence, and they, if you were paying any sort of attention to our little server on the coast, they play whom?
Magister Ernie Nguyen, and he is a Tremere of Camarilla renown. A direct childer of the Regents, even though he doesn't really have that parent-child relationship with them. They are very much more mentor-mentee.
Yes, you've done a lot of scenes with Nobu's character.
Hey, now, there ain't no Nobu's character. That's Creighton. Creighton to his friends. Nobody's what he's typically known as, because for a very long time growing up, this is exactly what he was as far as everything was concerned. That's Creighton. And I've heard some things about that strange doctor out there in the back of way up there on the north side of whatever.
That would be my character, Cheval de Han, yes. Who's been busy getting herself in and out of trouble in various ways.
And animated assistants, who I've been calling Annie, as per I've been given the leave to do so, plays Irving McCormick. I'm not sure if you guys have been paying attention to the full ebb and flow of things that have been happening, but they are playing tonight Levi, Neilhard Kaufman. We've already been introduced to Chiasoka, and we've been incidentally introduced to Elijah Abramson. So, Hunter, as a foundation for the new H5, the new edition of Hunter the Reckoning, is about exploring the dark. It is about realizing that the world is a very occasionally unsafe place, and it's a reason for it. The monsters are in fact real. All of the playing and surfing in the deeper dark that we do as vampires on the server has very little to actually do with these characters. What I'm hoping that we accomplish over the course of play is these characters going from questioning and loosely affected by all of those many things out there in the dark to understanding approximately how deep the hole goes, or having an idea as to how far they could fall into all of that inky black darkness. We will touch on, through negative space, some fairly potentially triggering subjects. I trust each of you all to give a quick aside and say, hey, we're going to back away from there, or what have you. If you all have any issues or anything that comes up that strikes a little too close to home, or is there any bit of transference between the characters, what the characters experiencing, and yourself, please very, very much say so, whether you want to say so out loud or send me a DM, and we can back away or glide around or find another way around to get through the story. At its heart, it is a mystery. Hunters are always seeking more knowledge to better combat the world around them. They are always trying to find how to beat the shadows back, how to shine the brightest light in what way they can. There's a lot of adaptation, there's a lot of room for improvisation, and there's a lot of room for, well, there's no other way to say it, there's a lot of room for horror on a variety of levels. And before we go much further, I'd like to officially open up the table for every question that we might have, so that we can have a foundation to build this tale through. So, one more time with a feeling, what questions, suggestions, hypotheses, concerns do we have in regards to this adventure?
Okay, so I got the one connection loosely with the dark web thing. I guess we had to figure out maybe if there's another one with one of the other characters, just to make things a little easier, or are we just starting from scratch?
Well, again, you guys know each other in passing, and how that happened, or how that has already transpired, and how close that relationship is entirely up to you guys to work out now. We know that you and, well, Chia and Elijah met via the dark web while searching the outlands of the internet. They found each other. The tenor of that relationship is, well, you all can either work it out through play, but you all have met and know each other on that level. Now the question stands in regards to Elijah and Levi and Chia and Levi. How did they meet in passing, and whether is it a deep relationship, or is it just lightly superficial questioning in the same hallway sort of situation?
Okay, so we were discussing about Levi's Edge global effect, and you say it could be like an internet thing, like a hacker thing.
Yes.
But now considering that he's secretly like an artifact dealer, so would that make more sense if that global effect is more like in terms of connections to like sellers, like buyers, that kind of stuff?
Yes.
That could actually work, because Chia is very interested in anthropology and artifacts and things like that. So maybe she would have heard of them through a connection to get like a figure or two or something to buy, and then maybe striking up a bit of a, not friendship, but like, hey, if I'm looking for this thing, can I come to you and I'll give you my business first before I go to anybody else, type of thing.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let me write it down somewhere.
And did we finalize how Elijah and Levi know each other?
I mean, I'm good with I'm good with Levi's running like artifact deals and checking around to see if anybody's interested in things in the same like general corner of the dark web we all found ourselves in. Cool with that.
Okay.
That sounds fine to me. Like, we can all just meet on the dark web.
Oh, what a quinky dink. We all happen to live in Mississippi. Okay. Alright, I think I have settled on a reasonable description. Elijah Abramson is 51, has lots of joint issues. So in the evenings, basically dresses like the way he would during the day, except he takes off the suit jacket. He's in nicer khakis, some worn brown loafer shoes, brown vest, cream undershirt. His only excuse for personality expression in his attire is the tie. Sometimes he will do something besides a conservative brown. He has suspenders underneath the vest. He has this really strange chronic arthritis that will probably be discussed in gameplay. It messes with his posture, so he doesn't stand at his full height almost ever. His full height would be 5'8", but he walks around at about 5'6". Full beard and mustache. It's bushy and brown and gray. Weighs about 210 pounds with a decent paunch. Definitely not muscle. Though he has some.
I think it's absolutely amazing because now I'm starting to put together the picture of these three kind of in my head. Motley Crew.
No, I feel like I have to give a description. Well, I mean, I imagined Levi is a man, probably approaching his late 40. He is currently working in a active field work, but he's archaeology, so he's like working in a dig site somewhere. Pretty normal family man, like usually dressed like a professor. Well, not in a dig site. Like he dressed like shorts, the kind of like explorer hat, that kind of stuff. Probably has like a daughter or two. Married. He like the whole artifact dealership is something that he keep on the side and not tell his family about. Secretly a smoker. He's like average in height and built, probably a little bit out of shape, but that's about it.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Shape, average, height, and build.
All right. And with this motley crew of Mississippians, these residents in and around the Bay St. Louis area of Mississippi, are there any other questions that we can settle in terms of the base of where they are, like in relations to the rest of the world? Remember, it's a blank slate as far as they're concerned. Thus far, there have been questions and those sort of conversations that are had in the early evening, just after work, when everyone's settling in and getting to their computers, or meeting at the corner sports bar or at the library, where the conversations dip and dive and swoop and move all of their own, and someone will mention something strange, and then there's that curiosity, there's that inquisitiveness, there's the idea that out there in the dark are things. And thus far, there's no definitive proof that there's anything out there in the dark safe shadows, but there's this drive, there's this understanding that what keeps happening is very much the same thing that Christians believe Lucifer did. The greatest trick that the devil played was convincing man that he did not exist. And it's a aphorism and an idea that refuses to let you go. That you're only seeing a portion of the picture. You know there's more there, and you got all of these pieces, but there's no box to compare the puzzle pieces to, and so you're trying to piece these things together and trying not to fall sway to the fringe sect that are screaming about the lizard people in politics and Hollywood, and the fact that, you know, there's chemicals being pumped out by the local government to drive certain people insane. All of the recent blackouts and fires were part of the fifth column CIA moving against the populace to keep all the sheep in line. You're trying not to fall into that crazy out there fringe, but the questions don't let you go. And every time you're close, every time you begin making connections between the Bahari Outreach Center and that dark world, there's always a logical, plausible reason for it to not be as far-fetched as you all think. There's always a, well, yeah, those kids were troubled and their parents were, well, the root of all of their being troubled. So of course they would have picked up one night and just disappeared. Yeah, of course. Companies have their fingers in so many pies. They're maybe not even aware as to what they're all doing, because they only care about making money. And yeah, it makes sense that this artifact from Eastern Africa has a representation of an owl, but that's standard. But why is it carved so intricately and so detailed with tools that we can't even replicate today? It happens. Strange things happen. Maybe there are aliens, maybe they're not. Maybe the aliens are responsible. More than likely they're not, because after all, if you were a sufficiently intelligent species, why would you get involved with us? And there's always a reason to veer left from actually hitting the bullseye.
So there's a local Bahari outreach center, you said?
There are several.
Ooh.
Now, the idea behind the Bahari, they are a fairly militant in regards to their privacy. Membership has its privileges. They do roughly, out of 365 days, there are roughly 75 festival days that they throw. Huge, big things where their members will disappear, and it'll be an all-day, all-night situation where they're singing and the sound of feet stomping in rhythmic pace to a chant. And you've been near some of their festival days, but their security is on par with the federal government in regards to keeping those not part of them from taking part. They have no problem welcoming people in, but if you're not in, you are definitely out. And that's one of the many things that set Elijah off in regards to them. They do good. They've helped the schools, they were part of the funding responsible for rebuilding the Bay St. Louis bridge that runs across Highway 90. They were part of the rebuild after Hurricane Camille and Hurricane Katrina. They helped secure federal funding to revitalize the underground utility infrastructure for the entirety of Bay St. Louis. They have been phenomenally assistive to Bay St. Louis Waveland School District, the Hancock School District. They've helped refund and rebuild St. Stanislaus after each of the major storms. They have ties to Our Lady Academy, which is, a day school for girls 7 to 12. And they are constantly pouring money into the Pearl River Community College. And every bit of good they do twinges and causes a chill and an ache to Elijah. There's no reason to doubt them. There's no reason to not, like, everyone deserves their privacy. This is not a fascist or communist country, but still, there's just something about them that he can't get past. It's like he knows there's something there, even though there's no reason. There's no outgoing facet that is easily factually viable for why he has an ill feeling about them. Yeah, you've heard rumors about them worshiping the Earth Mother. A lot of modern pagans and non-Christians have those ideals. It is what it is, but the fact that he just feels so put upon, so weighed down by everything they do. Every time he glimpses one of those clickbait articles and sees how much they're pouring into the community, it drives him absolutely bonkers. There's a seething enmity. Or maybe it's just the fact that his studies of the Talmud and the mention of Lilith being the original Earth Mother, he's making an unconscious connection. Maybe it is some indoctrination he hasn't been able to shake free of. Who's to say?
Well, in his case, he actually believes that the Bahari are the reason why one of his friends is no longer with us. He ascribes an unexplained disappearance to them.
That makes sense. That makes all the sense in the world. As we jot down our last final details of where we're starting, allow me to say thank you for taking this time to spend with us.